See, using system is not the only namespace available. All right, there are many other. All right, so yeah, so our code, the C sharp, the developers who wrote C sharp, they actually divided all those code. All right, they divided all those code into different namespaces. All right, the system namespace. All right, the system namespace that is available, it actually contains the codes. All right, codes for methods that allows us to do certain functions. All right, like if we want to print, we can do that. So I already told that we can actually declare our own namespace. We even did declared our own namespace. All right, we can copy this and create our another namespace. All right, I would show you how to do that. And what are the advantages of using namespaces, right? See, first of all, one more thing, if you are creating 2 or 3 or n numbers of namespaces, it is really important for you to name it differently. All right, the namings should not be same. So then if the first name is hello world, I mean your first namespace name is hello world, the second namespace name should be hello Priyanshu or any other name, right? Or your name. So remember that. And one of the major things of like helpful things of namespaces are two different environment, you could say. All right, in namespace one, see, namespaces basically help us to prevent the conflicts, name conflicts. Like, see, if I show you here, all right, if I create, if I let's say if I created a same type of variable, I know that you won't understand this as of now. All right, you won't understand this. All right, I'm pretty sure about that, but don't worry. All right, don't worry. I'm going to cover about variables, comments, and all those things. Now let's play it. Let's just play it. See, it is giving us error. You know why it is giving us error? It is giving us error. The reason is that we are using the same name, the same name. All right. So in C sharp we can't use the same name. All right, we can't use. So it's really important to give different names. But if I had to show you, all right, we can give the same names in second namespace. All right, like this is one of our namespace, right? So namespace hello Priyanshu. All right, another. This is another namespace I'm creating. So class program. Can you see I am giving the same name in here, right? The same name in here. Now let's try running it, man. Let's try running it. See, it didn't return us any sort of error. It didn't. Why? Because namespaces, you can think of namespaces as different environments actually. They have their in there, if namespace 1 has program and namespace 2 has program, the same names, then it won't conflict. It won't create any problem. So yeah, I hope you understand, right? I hope you understood this thing. Now, uh, we looked into the example, right? We looked into the example. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to tell you, that is that this main method, all right. See, this main method, the main method you could see, this is the starting point, all right. This is the starting point of our program. The main method is basically the starting point of our program. It's where our program starts. All right, if I give the same thing, all right, let me copy this and put it in here. If I give the same thing in here, where it didn't got printed. Oh, why is it happening? Wait, copy, paste. All right, it isn't pasting. I don't know. I got to know. I didn't ended the program, right? Sorry, I'm really sorry about that. I was like, oh god. Now let's try running this. I'm sure you would get error. See, it is giving us error. See, it is writing program a.out has more than one entry point defined. Do you know what it means? It means that there are two entry points and main method is the entry point. So in a program, in a particular file, there should be only one method. All right, there should be only one main method, because it is the starting point of a program, right? Because if we give two main methods in two separate namespaces, then our compiler will be like, hey man, which main method should I go for? I'm confused. And because of that, you are very rude to me. You gave me two main method. I'm really angry about that. So what I will give you, I will give you error, and you won't be able to run your program. So our compiler will tell this. So to make our compiler happy, to make our compiler work fine, means to make our program work fine, we need to provide only one main method in our, but in our any of our namespace. All right. Now. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I also forgot to tell you about this too, right? My bad, my bad. So what, see, you have already seen that what this console.writeLine does. This console.writeLine basically prints, alright? This console.writeLine prints a statement, but what this console.read does, alright? I have written it in here. See, the console.read, alright, it basically waits for a key press from the user before causing the console execution. Like if I execute it, alright, if I let's say execute, I will show you, alright, I will show you. Now if I, let's say I try doing something like editing this program, can you see you can't edit the source code when program is running? You can't edit the source code when program is running, means our program is running, it hasn't ended. If I press enter, say our program ended. Now if I had to comment this down, I know you don't know about comments, don't worry. Or let's say I remove this, I remove this particular code line. All right, if I remove this, see, I didn't even need to press enter, it just exited. So that's what our console.read does. All right, so let's get an idea about our main method. All right, so what is it? So see, the main method in here, the main method is basically the starting point. All right, the starting point of any of our C sharp program. All right. Yeah, so the main method in here, the main method here is our entry point or the starting point of our C sharp program, right? Whenever we run a program, all right, why did when we saw the example where we like added another public static void main in our second namespace, why didn't it ran? It didn't run because there should be only one entry point of the program. I already told you what would the compiler will feel if you give two entry points, right? The compiler will be angry. It will be an insult for him. I guess so. So yeah, there should only be one entry point. All right, one main method. And also one thing, that these entry points are called first, all right, than any other methods. Like if you define any other methods, they won't be called first. The first thing that will be called is this main method. All right, I hope you understand. So yeah, there's another parameter, this string args. All right, if you don't know what a string is, man, don't worry, I am there now. I am there for you. I am there for you to make you understand. I will make you understand this. What is this string args? All right, what is this string args? This is an array. All right, this is a collection. It can take a collection of strings. All right, it can take a collection of string. If you're not able to understand what is this, don't worry. Next lecture is there. All right, next lecture is there for you. After that lecture, you will understand what it is, what it does. All right, and I will recapitulate this particular portion in that. Don't worry. So basically, it can take this string method can take, sorry, the string argument can take multiple amounts of string data, right? And I already told you what this console.writeLine is and what this console.read is. All right, so for today, for this lecture, our first lecture is completed. All right, so our module 3 first lecture is done. All right, see ya, bye bye, see you in the next lecture. Thank you. So hey folks, this is module 3.2, and in this module we are going to learn about comments, variables, data types, and typecasting. All right, and in our previous module, that is 3.1, we learned about C sharp. We learned the basic structure of C sharp, or all the very basics of means what is that using a system, what is like we learned a lot of things. All right, what is console.writeline, right? So in this module, we are going to learn about comments. Then we are going to move on to variables, then data types, and last but not the least, and one of the important concept, that is typecasting. All right. So without any further ado, let's get started. So what are comments? All right. See, comments are basically some sort of statement, or you could say some sort of keywords or something like that. All right. It is some sort of specific lines that is ignored. All right. That is ignored by the compiler. All right. You already know what a compiler is. A compiler is a tool that converts the code to a binary form, right? That is, or you can say machine understandable code, right? Why it does that? It does that because machines cannot understand English. All right, it can't understand our words. Machines can only understand binaries, that is 0 and 1. All right, so yeah. So what comments does is comments. The comments basically. All right, these comments are basically ignored by the compiler. They won't run that particular line. All right, they will just ignore that yeah, it is a comment. All right, why should we run that? It's a useless thing. All right, for a compiler it is a useless thing. They won't run it because nothing will come out of that, right? So a comment is basically some sort of lines, all right, some sort of specific lines that are ignored by the compiler. All right, and how comments are useful? All right, how comments are useful? See, comments are useful in a way. All right, it is useful. See, as a programmer, all right, we have to make our code understandable. All right, because let's say I'm working on some project right now. All right, I'm working on some project, and in that project, all right, the code is of 1,000 lines or 2,000 lines, or let's say even 100 200 lines. All right, now the code is being passed to another developer. He has to work on it, all right, without any proper documentation or comments. All right, we can't the coder, all right, the new developer can't understand what that program is doing. All right, he have to like put a lot of time to understand the whole code. But we can make that thing easier, right? We can make that thing very simpler. We can comment. All right, we can comment the lines. We can comment the lines, right? We can means we can sort of create small, all right, small documents, or you could say small lines or small paragraphs for that particular code. Like let's say currently we are developing uh, AR app, and in there we have to rotate. All right, we have to rotate that 3D model, right? We have to rotate that 3D model. So I have written some code for that, and in the top of that, all right, in the top of that code, what I did, I wrote a comment. All right, I wrote a comment that this particular code, all right, this particular code is rotating the 3D game object. All right, it is rotating the object. All right, so if I'm passing the code to another developer, then he won't have any problem understanding the code. All right, he won't have any problem. So that's why comments are useful. All right, now let's try this out. And also there are actually two types of comments. All right, single line comment and multi-line comment. So what is a single line? All right, single line comments works for only single lines. All right, like if the line is one, then it will be within line one only. All right, we will if you are not understanding that, don't worry, you are going to do the practical. All right, so single line comments are basically they stay in one line only. All right, if you go to the next line, that comment won't work. All right, that comment won't extend actually. But this is not the case of with multi-line comment. All right, multi-line comment can help us in documenting also. So multi-line comments starts from a particular point. Let's say we are starting that multi-line comment from line number 3. All right, and we are writing some multi-lines. All right, we are writing some text within that comment, all right, in separate lines, like you can see right in here, all right, right, like you can see right in here, we have taken 3 lines to write some content, and in the fifth line, all right, we are ending it. In the fifth line we are ending it. So that's how we start a multi-line comment, all right. So to start a single line comment, we have to give a double forward slash, all right, and to write a multi-line comment, all right, there are two things, a starting point and an ending point, all right. The starting point is like forward slash star, it is the start of the comment, and to end that comment what we have to do is star backward slash. All right, I hope you understand. Right, so let's try this thing out. Right, before going to variables, let's try this thing out. All right, so this is our code. All right, so first of all, let's write some sort of code. All right, let's write console dot write line comments. All right, so this is our code, right? Now let's try to run it. Let's run this program. See, it is printing comments. All right, let's try to give the single line comment notation. All right. See, after I have given to forward slash, you can see the whole line has gone brown. What does this indicate? This indicates that this is a commented line. All right, this is a commented line. Although the color will be different in your editor if you are using some other kind of editor. All right, because this is the theme of it. But don't worry about the color. But it is highlighted. All right. When it is highlighted, you will understand that your code is commented. So let's run it. All right, let's run it. See, it is not printing anything because it is not reading the line. The compiler is just ignoring this particular line. All right, now let's try out something, another thing. Can we add another line of code in the same single line comment? Can we? So let's try it out. Why not try it out, right? Let's try it out and see. So line 2, all right. So let's try it out. Let's see that the single line comment is also ignoring the next one or not. Oh no, it is not ignoring the next line. Do you know what is the reason? The reason it works for only one line. All right. If we give another set of forward slashes in line 2 comment, means in the console.write line 2, then again it would perform its function. All right, but it is also like it is the task is also tedious to give every time the double slashes, right, double forward slashes. So there's another thing. All right, let's say we want to write multi-line comment. All right, or you could say we want to write multi-line things, right? So first of all, let's give console dot write line comments. All right, console dot write line 2. All right, line 2 again, console dot write line 3. All right, so let's try it out. All right, let's try it out. Let's run it. See, the code is running, but we don't want the code to run. We want to comment it. All right, we want the compiler to ignore it. So how would we do that? All right, so simply give forward slash and star. All right, see, as you can see here, just as I have gave, as soon as I gave this comment notation, multi-line comment starting point, all right, you can see it has highlighted, all right, or made the colors brown from where it started. All right, now we have to end it. How would we do that? So it's again as simple as that, just star backward slash. All right, and you can see the commented portion is only brown, right? Let's run it. See, the compiler is ignoring the codes. It is as simple as that. So I hope you understood what are comments. All right, comments are basically some set of lines, all right, that are ignored by the compiler. That's it. All right. So now as we have understood about comments, let's go for variables. All right. See, variables are you can see variables are used to store some value. All right. Variables in a programming language are used to store some value. Right. So see, I won't be using any technical terms to make you understand about variables. All right. I would be using a layman's term. All right, or you can say the simple term to make you understand about variables. All right. So first of all, think the variable as some sort of container. All right, a container that can store something. All right. Let's say let's take a common container. All right. Let's say a water bottle. All right. Take an water bottle. All right. Take an water bottle. It is a variable. All right. For now, think your variable as a water bottle. All right, and you are storing, all right, something in it. All right, what thing? What is that thing that you are storing in that water bottle? It is, all right, it is a liquid. All right, in a water bottle you will store some kind of liquid. Doesn't matter what kind of liquid it is. All right, it can be a orange juice, a chocolate milkshake, or a simple water, right? All, it is a liquid. All right, doesn't matter what liquid it is, but it is a liquid, right? In the water bottle you are storing some kind of liquid. All right, and what liquid are you storing? All right, what is the liquid? Means, is it water, is it an orange juice, or is it a chocolate milkshake? So I want to store a chocolate milkshake in the water bottle, right? Or even a simple water. I can store water in the water bottle. So you can imagine, all right. You can interpret this in technical terms. How? See, the water bottle is acting like a variable, or you can say a container, because variables are containers. Variables are meant to store some value, right? Variables are meant to store some value. All right. So variables are container, and in our example, a variable is our water bottle. All right, water bottle is our variable. All right, and and we are storing a liquid, right? All right, we are storing some sort of liquid. In here the liquid is the type. All right, liquid is the type of the data we are storing. All right. See, water comes in the type of liquid, right? We all know that. Chocolate milkshake also comes under the type liquid because it is liquid, of course. Then orange juice also comes under the type of liquid, right? So we are storing some kind of liquid. So that is a type, or you can also say data type, right? We can also say data type, right? It is the data type, right? So water bottle is our variable, liquid is our data type, and the type of liquid you are storing, all right, the type of liquid you are storing, that is water, or let's say chocolate milkshake, that is the data. All right, that is the data we are storing in our variable. All right, or you can say in our water bottle. So we are taking our water bottle. All right, we are taking some sort of liquid. All right, some sort of liquid is the chocolate milkshake. I am storing my chocolate milkshake in the water bottle. All right, and the type of the chocolate milkshake is liquid. All right, so I hope you understand. So variables are basically acts like as containers. They are containers, but in computer programming. All right, they are containers in computer programming, right? So let's to make you make it more understandable, let me show you. All right, see, this won't execute, of course, this will give you error, but let me tell you. All right, so this is the type. All right, liquid is the type, water bottle, water bottle, right, water bottle is our container. All right, water bottle is our container, and the data we are storing in it, all right, the data we are storing in is chocolate milkshake, right? So yeah, here you can see this liquid is the data type. All right, this liquid is the type, this water bottle is the container, and this choco milkshake, all right, is our data. This choco milkshake is our data. All right, and this is how, all right, this is how we initialize, all right, or create a variable in our C sharp programming. All right, this is how we create variable in many other programming languages too, like Java, C++. So let's write a comment for it. All right, that is data type, data type. Then we have to give the variable name, right, variable name. Then we have to initialize the data to it. So this is how it works, right? Or you can say, if I remove this data only, let's say type variable equals data. As simple as that, nothing too complicated. All right, so we are storing chocolate milkshake in our water bottle. All right, and what type of chocolate milkshake it is? It is a liquid. All right, it is a liquid. So that's it, right? This is what variable is. Variable is a container, nothing else. So I already show you how to like what is the way of declaring a container. Right now let's try it out. All right, let's try actually initializing a variable. Right, let's try out initializing a variable in computing terms. All right, not in layman's term. So it's simple. First we have to give the type, or you can say data type. Then we have to write the name of the variable. All right, let's say I want to store a number. All right, then we have to use the equals operator, also known as assignment operator. All right, and we have to assign. All right, we have to put some sort of data. In our case, in this case, the data will be numbers. So I'm going to put 12 in here. All right, and let's say it works or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it out. Right, I am simply going to print this thing out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so it has printed our number that we stored in a variable. Right, so we created a variable that is storing the value. Right, so that's great. It's a good start actually. So we learned what is a variable. All right, we learned what is a variable, how to create a variable. One more thing I would like to say is, now you many of you might have a question that we are creating a variable, right? Like where do we store our water bottle? All right, we store our water bottle in our backpack, all right, or in some place at our house, right? That's right, right? So where do we store this variable? All right, where this variable gets stored? See, in our systems we have random access memory, all right, that is RAM. All right, and this some sort of, all right, when we create a variable, some sort of memory is allocated. All right, what memory, like how much memory is allocated in the RAM, we will see in the later sections. We'll learn about data type. All right, but it allocates, all right, or you can say makes some space for the variables to store in the RAM. So our variables and values are stored in the RAM. All right, so I hope you understand. All right, I hope you understand the concept of variable. All right, if you are confused in some point, you can comment it down. All right, so now it is there's a dialogue that with great power comes great responsibility, right? Similarly, with variables there also comes rules. All right, and we have to maintain those rules. The very first rule, all right, the very first rule is that a variable name in C sharp can only contain numbers, letters, numbers, or underscores. All right, what that means is, all right, we can't create a variable. All right, let me show you actually. Int dollar num equals 12. Right, let's try to print it out and you will see what happens. All right, see, it is giving us an error, that is unexpected character, because the reason is C sharp doesn't allows a variable to have dollar in its variable naming. All right, these are called naming conventions. but we can have underscores. All right, we already have letters, right? We already have letter. We can have underscore. All right, we can have underscore too. All right, so yeah, of course, we can also have numbers. Now here comes another rule regarding it. All right, here comes another rule regarding it. All right, so variable name, all right, variable name can't start with a number. See, here it is written that we cannot start a variable name with a number. That is it. We cannot write a variable name as 3 ABC or 2 name, like that. All right, let's try it out and see. All right, let's try it out and see if that works or not. Right. So 2 num, let's try it out. See, it is giving us an error, that is unexpected symbol. But we can have numbers in between. All right, we can have numbers in between of variable names. All right, like n to I know it's weird, but we can have like this. We can have numbers like this. All right. Similarly, we can also add numbers to the end of the variable. All right. We can also put numbers to the end of the variable. See, it is working perfectly fine, right? So we learned about two rules, that we can only add letters, numbers, and underscores during a naming convention, already during the naming of any variable. And also a variable can't start with a number, all right, although it can have, all right, it can have number in between the name of the variable or at the end of the variable, right? So the next rule, all right, the next rule we have is that we cannot use a reserved keyword. We cannot use a reserved keyword as a variable name because they already have their own meanings and purposes to fulfill. Right? Now, what does this mean? See, there are multiple keywords, all right, or you can say reserved keywords in our C# program, just like we saw previously, like using, all right, using system, they are reserved keywords. All right, using is a reserved keyword, class is a reserved keyword. All right, int, all right, int is a reserved keyword, if is a reserved keyword. All right, console, it is a reserved keyword. So we cannot use any sort of reserved keyword during a variable naming convention, right? So let's try it out. All right, let's give it a variable name as if. All right, and just let's try it out, what happens. Let's see what happens. Wow, it has given some errors. All right, it is giving unexpected symbol equals, then unexpected symbol if. It will give, because this is not the syntax of if, right? That's why it is giving the error unexpected symbol equals. All right, so yeah, so you learned that we cannot use any sort of reserved keywords as variable names. All right, similarly, another thing is variable names are case sensitive. All right, what does this mean? See, it means that if you write a variable like this, all right, let's say if you write a variable like this, name equals Priyanshu. All right. See, this is a string data type. All right. I would tell you what is this, but don't worry for now. I'm just showing an example, and let's try to print it out. All right. So let's try to print it out, and let's see what happens. Right. So you can see that it has printed my name, right? But let's say if I write the name in capital letters, all in caps, all right, all in caps. Can you tell that will it execute the program? Execute in the sense, of course, it will execute, but will it give any sort of error or just print Priyanshu as it is written right now? All right. So will it, just take your time? All right, just take a few seconds and think about it. All right, think about it. Will it? All right, pause the video and think about it. So let's run it now. All right, see, it is giving us an error. it is giving us an error. Why? Because there is no variable defined as NAME, that is capital letters NAME. There's a variable defined as NAME as small letters. All right, this variable is in small letters and we wrote it in capital letters. So both of them are totally different. All right, both of them are totally different. So always remember that the variable names, that is the type, or you could say not exactly the type, just check that if the variable name is in caps or in small letters. All right, because these are case sensitives. All right, these variables are case sensitives. All right, so we can't have, like if we write a name in small letters and we are trying to print that name in capital letters, means in capital letters is means that we are trying to write that name variable in the console.write line in capital letters, it won't execute because it would then it would search for another set of variable. All right, it would search for another variable whose text is in capital letter and is written name. All right, so I hope you understand that we can't have like variables, means we can have variables, but they are case sensitive. All right, like because see in this example, this first name, all right, this first name, you can see that the first is written in small letters, the N is written in capital letters, and AME is written in small letters. But in another is in another text, it is the F is caps, but the other letters are in small letter. All right, are in small. So this this name and this name are not same. All right, both are totally different. All right, now as we have learned about variable, its rules, all right, now it's our time to get into the data types. All right, see, it is a very important concept. All right, data types is a very important concept. So try to understand it. All right, if you are not able to understand something, all right, you can comment it down. And also I would suggest rewatching this particular portion. All right, rewatching the particular portion you have not understood, then also you haven't understood, you can comment it down and I would surely like to help you. All right, so yeah, data types, right? See, I already told you about an example, right? Previously, the water bottle example, that the liquid is the data type, or you can say the type of the value, right? Similarly, data types are also the same thing. They specify the type of a variable, all right? They specify the type of the variable, all right? The type of value it can store, right? So the very first data type we have is int. All right, so basically the int is basically a short for integer. All right, and it has a range. All right, it has a range of -2147483648 to 2147483647. All right, what this means, that it has a range of this to this. All right, it has a range of this to this. If we exceed that value, all right, let's say if I write 2147483647, then it would return a error. All right, let's try it out. All right, let's copy this value first. All right, let's copy this value first and let's try it out in our code editor. All right, so yeah, int val equals, all right, so now let's try to print it out. Console dot write line val. All right, let's run the program and see, it is printing, right? It is printing the exact value. But for now, let's change it to 2147483648. Can you tell me, will it print or will it like give us some error? Pause the video and think about it. All right, think about it and just uh, tell me that will it print the value All right, just pause the video and think about it. So let's run the program and let's see. My god, it is giving us some sort of error. Why it is giving that error? Because the range is exceeded. All right, means we have exceeded the range of integer. Like here you have seen that the max means the negative range is 2147483648, right? And the positive range is up to 2147483647, but in there we wrote 2147483648, so it is having a +1 value. All right, it is exceeding the range, that's why it is giving error. So ranges basically tells us that how much value, all right, how much value a particular data type can store. All right, and we also learned how to use integer as, that is int, as a variable, right? So another is long. All right, it is you can say it is the big brother of int. All right, it also store integer value. All right, that is means non-decimal values, you could say, or you can also say integer values. All right, so it has a more higher range. All right, this long, all right, this long has a more higher range than int. All right, so when you need more values to store, all right, when you need more values to store, that is higher range of values to store, then you should go for long. All right, like let's try out the same example, right? We, like here we see that we put some using int, it exceeded its range, right? Because the range was up to 2147483648, right? But let's try the same thing out with long. Will it exceed? Let's see. No, it won't. It won't exceed. Do you know the reason? The basic reason behind it is because the range of long is much bigger than of integer. All right, it is really the range is very much bigger than integer, right? Another thing, all right, as you can see in here, basically we can also add a suffix. All right, we can also add a suffix l. All right, we can also add a suffix l in here, and it is not mandatory. All right, it is not mandatory, but it is recommended to add the suffix l. All right, it is recommended to add the suffix l. All right, so yeah, now as we have understood about long, all right, as we have understood about long, it is now a time, all right, it is now time to understand about bytes. So we are going to learn about byte, right? So another thing before going into byte, all right, another thing I would like to suggest is whenever you are writing, all right, means this suffix l, all right, in the long, whenever you are writing this, always remember that to use capital, all right, capital L. There's a very specific reason for that, because many people, what many people does is they gets confused with small letter l and 1. It's sometimes confusing, and even C sharp recommends to use capital letter L. All right, to use capital letter L in spite of small letter L. All right. Although it will give a warning if you use small letter L, but there won't be much issues with that. But it is recommended to use capital letter L in spite of small letter L in the suffix of long. All right, long data type. So let's get into the byte. All right, byte data type. See, byte is also sort of integer only. All right, it also stores integers, but the byte, all right, bytes range is really low. All right, byte has a really low range. All right, byte has a really low range. So the range of it is from 0 to 255. All right, it is the range of byte. So if we try it out, all right, if we try this example out, all right, if we try this example out, so basically if we try this example out, that is byte, All right. Byte val. All right. Now if we give value exceeding, all right, if we give value exceeding 255, that is, let's say 300, all right, and then try to print console dot write line, all right, val. So let's see what it does. All right, let's see what it basically does. Let's see. All right, so it is giving us some sort of error. Why it is giving error? All right, why it is giving error? It is giving us error because we exceeded the limit. All right, now if we give something under the limit, all right, that is between 0 to 255, all right, let's say we give 255 only. All right, if we give this, see, it is working perfectly fine. So yeah, that's what byte is. It has a low range, but it is an integer data type. All right, similarly, we also have other data types. All right, now we are getting into the floating point data types, or you can say decimal data types. All right, that these are the data types that has decimal decimal places. All right, these data types has decimal places. So the very first data type we will be learning in decimal places. All right, that is floating point numbers, or you can say float. All right, so float is a data type, all right, which can have decimals, means which have decimal places in numbers. All right, if you want to store some value in points, we can't store that in integer, of course, right? So we have to use some sort of data types meant for it. So similarly, there are three data types, all right, meant for storing decimal placed values, that is float, double, and decimal. All right, so the very first thing we are learning is float. All right, so floating point, basically float refers, all right, to floating point numbers. All right, and they have decimal places in the numbers. All right, just like 1.34, then 5.64. All right, these numbers have decimal places in them. And if we talk about the range, all right, the float has a range of plus minus 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 45, all right, to uh, plus minus 3.4 into 10 to the power 38. All right, so this is the range of float. All right, and also float uses 8 bytes of storage. All right, and it has a precision of about 7 digits. All right, so basically, um, it has a precision of 7 digits. All right, what that means is, it means that if you are storing a number like 1.2345678 9, all right, if you are storing a numbers like this, so it will be rounded off. All right, it would be rounded off to 1.2345678. All right, so it would be rounded off to this. All right, so let's learn how to initialize this float variable. Right, let's learn to do so. So float, all right, float value equals, all right, float value equals, let's give some sort of decimal value, that is 12.5, and also add a suffix f. All right, then what this suffix f does is, it tells that it is a floating point value. Now by default, all right, by default, the decimal values, all right, the decimal values are in double, all right, are in the format of double. So it is always recommended to give f in the back of float numbers, all right, floating point numbers. So val, let's try and print it out. All right, see, it is printing 12.5. Now let's try it out without the f suffix. All right, let's see what happens. It is giving us error. The reason is because the means these decimal values, all right, by default, all right, these decimal values by default are in double, all right, are in the type of double. So it is always recommended to you add f suffix at the last of float variables, right? So that's what it is, all right. So as simple as that. So yeah, let's see, all right, let's see other data types too, that is double, all right. Let's see double. So as we have learned about float, all right, it is a really great data type to be used, all right. Another is double, all right. It has a higher range, all right. This double has a higher range and a good precision, all right, a good precision. So double, all right. What is a double? All right. See, double is also a data type, and it is a 64-bit. All right. It is a 64-bit double precision floating point type. All right, and it has a precision of 14 to 15 digit. All right. It has a good precision of around 14 to 15 digit, and also, all right, also to initialize a double variable, we have to use the suffix small d or capital D. All right. Similarly, in float also we can use capital F, but I use small f. All right. Okay. So here in the example, I guess I did a mistake. I would fix this issue. All right. Here you can see in the example I gave float num equals 12f. But don't worry. In the final note that would be that you would be getting. All right. I would be fixing this issue. All right. But for now, I will show you the actual example. All right. I will show you the actual example. I'm really sorry about this mistake, but in the actual note this issue will be fixed, all right. So the range, all right, so double has a range of plus minus 5.0 into 10 to the power minus 324 to plus minus 1.7 into 10 to the power 308. All right, so let's try it out. Let's try this double. All right, try this double out. So in let's get to the editor, of course, all right, and let's write double, all right. Num equals 12.5, all right, d, okay, and then console dot log, oh sorry, not console.log. I'm always writing this thing because in Unity it is to write any sort of comment we do debug.log, so it's like it is habituated to me. So yeah, so let's try and print it out. All right, let's see if it gives any sort of errors or runs seamlessly. So we can see that it has ran seamlessly. All right, so we have learned about double data type. All right, we have learned about float, we have learned about int, we have learned about long, we have learned about byte, we have learned about float, we have learned about double. Now it's our time. All right, it is our time to understand this decimal. All right, let's understand this decimal data type. All right, see, decimal is another floating point data type. All right, where you can store decimal values. All right, even the name suggests it. So but all right, but this decimal, all right, this decimal has much greater precision, all right, than any other, all right, that is a float or double. All right, the precision of float and double is lower than decimal. All right, so the decimal has better precision. All right, it has a greater precision, that is of approximately 28 to 29 digits. All right, approximately 28 to 29 digits. So this decimal data type, all right, has an greater precision of approximately 28 to 29 digits. All right, and it is recommended, all right, it is always recommended to use the decimal data type, all right, in spite of double or float, if you want a greater precision. All right, if you want a greater precision, then you should use decimal. All right, but the range of decimal data type is lower than that of double and float. All right, so it has basically a range of plus plus minus 1.0 into 10 to the power minus 28 to plus minus 7.9228 into 10 to the power 28. So this is the range. All right, this is the range of decimal data type. All right, similarly, let's try it out. All right, let's try it out in our code editor. All right, so it's very simple. I already included the definition, right, and also the example. All right, nothing too complicated in here. So decimal decimal num equals 25.5 d. Sorry, the suffix will be m, not d. I'm really sorry about that. So the suffix will be m. All right, so the suffix for decimal is m. So this is how we write a uh, initialize a decimal data type. All right, this is how we do it. So now, as we have learned about decimal data type, now it's our time to learn about three other data types. All right, that is char, bool, and string. These are very important data types. All right, all of the data types that I'm teaching you, all right, all of them are very important for you to understand. All right, so char, all right, char data type. What does char, all right, what is char actually? Char basically stands for character. All right, or you can say letter. All right, a particular letter. All right, so like a is a particular letter or a character, like b, like c, like d. All right, so these are characters. All right, these are characters. Similarly, if we have to, all right, if we want to define any sort of character in our program, how would we do that? All right, how would we do that? It's pretty simple. All right, it's pretty simple. Just write char. All right. Also, I'm not changing the variable name. I'm going to keep it num only. All right. Or let's say change it. Let's change it. All right. And let's say I want to store a character. All right, called a. All right, and if I put ch, all right, now I want to print it. All right, so let's see it gets printed or not. So here it is being printed. One more thing, all right, there are some details that you should look out for. First of all right, if you a character, all right, a character data type can only store only one letter. All right, it can't store a b. All right, a b c, it can only store one letter. All right, another thing you have to put in your mind is that whenever we write a character, we have to enclose that particular letter in single brackets, like just like we did in here. All right, so similarly, let's try another out, that is b. All right, and let's run this program. All right, see, it is printing b. All right, now what if, all right, if we what if we try to add multiple, all right, add multiple uh, letters in it. So here you can see it is giving us error because of course this can only store a single character. It can only store as like only one character. All right, so that's we are giving it to it, that is only one character. So remember, if you want to store only a single character, then always go for char. All right, now our next, all right, let's see what is our next. Yeah, our next topic is bool. All right, see, bool is stands for boolean. All right, it is the short for boolean. So bool data types can only contain true or false. All right, true means on. All right, true means it is executable. All right, true means it will work. True means on, and false means off. All right, you can say it is off. right? Right. So if we take an example of a circuit, all right, or you can say your lights also, all right, your lights also. So you have a switch in your house, all right, to turn on the light. So when you turn on the light, all right, the value of that particular switch is becoming true, all right, or you can say the value of that particular switch is becoming on. And because the value is true, all right, because the value is true, the current is flowing, all right, the current is flowing through the circuit and lighting and putting the lights on, all right, and it is putting the lights on. Similarly, if you turn off the switch, all right, similarly if you turn off the switch, then the value of the switch will be false and no current will pass through it, all right, it will just terminate. So that's what true and false is in terms of programming. Similarly, how can we basically how can we basically initialize it? I have also given you example. Okay, all right, and I will also show you how to do that. All right, so bool is running. So am I running? No, I'm sitting. Right, I'm sitting. Right. So if I print it now, all right, if I print it now, let's see what happens. See, it is printing us true that the value is true, right? That the value is true. Now, if I turn it false, that is, yeah, I am running, then let's say what happened. It is printing false. See, we will understand the use of true and false. All right, this true and false in further lectures. All right, because we'll be using this often, especially in the if else. All right, in the if else and the development. So you at that time you will understand the use case of bool and how important is it. All right, now similarly we have another, all right, string. Now previously you might think that it is also similar to char, and it is somewhat true. All right, see, a string, all right, a string is basically a collection of characters. All right, the thing that we can't do in char data type, we can do that in string data type. All right, string is a collection, you can say it is a collection of characters. All right, every letter in here is a character, p is a character, r is a character. All right, and we are able to contain it. All right, you can say we are able to unite them in a single variable. All right, that we can't do in character because it can only store a single letter, right? So that's what a string is. String can store multiple characters in a single variable, all right, because it is a collection of characters. All right, let's try out string name equals, you can write your own name. All right, my name is Priyanshu. All right, so also I forgot to give the semicolon, this happens a lot. And then name, let's try it out and see what happens. See, it is printing Priyanshu, it is not giving us any sort of error, just like the char did when we tried to store abc, right? So string can store multiple characters because it can store a collection of characters. All right, so another thing, all right, that is noticeable in here is whenever you are writing a string, all right, whenever you are using a string, you cannot use single quotes. All right, you should only use double quotes. All right, so whenever initializing a string, remember to enclose the characters, or you can say the means the word, all right, the word that you are assigning in the string type variable. All right, remember to enclose them in double quotes. All right, just like we did in here. All right, so yeah, now it is our time. All right, it is our very time to understand, or you can say learn. All right, it is our very time to learn about strings in depth. All right, because strings is one of the most important concepts, all right, in programming. So let's understand it. All right. The very first thing we are going to learn is concatenation. All right. What is concatenation? All right. See, concatenation is nothing too much of a complicated thing. All right. It is a really simple thing. All right. See, concatenation is basically the joining. All right. It is basically the joining of two strings. All right. Concatenation means it is the joining of two particular strings. All right. That is what concatenation is. So let's try it out practically, right? Let's try it out in our code editor. All right. So see here we have the name, right? I'm not going to edit anything in it. Just I'm going to add some another instructions to it. All right. So add a plus in it. All right. Add a plus and all right. And then add the title. All right. That is Bhattacharji. All right. This is my title. Right. Also, I would like to give a space before Bhattacharji because then it would add some space to it. Then let's try to print it. All right. See, I am able to print my full name and we have successfully concatenated. All right. See, you might think that, hey man, this add is used for adding two numbers, right? We can use this add to add two numbers, right? We can use this add to add two numbers, means addition operator. But if we talk about in terms of strings, all right, if you talk about in terms of strings, then this add operator becomes a concatenation operator. All right, means it is used to concatenate two strings into one. All right, this is what this addition operator does in terms of strings. All right, as simple as that. All right, so yeah. Now, as we have understood about concatenation, concatenation is nothing but the joining, all right, the joining of two different strings. All right. Now, here comes some very important string methods. All right. It is very important to understand. All right. So let's see. See, this length method. All right. It basically tells us what is the length of the string. All right, it basically tells us what is the length of the string. Let's try it out. All right, let's simply try it out. Let's see, we are going to do it with a very simple string. All right, that a string that doesn't has a lot of characters. All right, so let's take ABC. All right, see we all know that this particular string has three characters, right? This particular string has three characters. So let's try to print the length of it. And let's see what happens. Wow, it has given 3. Now let's add another. All right, let's add another character in it and let's see what it does. So as you can see it in here that it has printed 4. So our length means the string's length is 4, of course. So that's what the length does. All right, and this is going to be really helpful in our further sections. All right, even in the development. So always remember to go through these notes. All right, after watching a particular lecture. All right, so always go through these notes to clear your concepts again. All right, or you can say revision of your concept. Now here's another function. All right, that is equals. All right, what this equals does, see, this equals will just compare one string to another. All right, it would just compare one string to another, nothing too much in here. All right, it would just compare one string to another. All right, so let's try it out in here. Right, I give it let's write another string. All right, string name 2. All right, equals let's say DCBA. Right, and let's try to use this function. All right, how to use this function? First of all, select. All right, select a variable, all right, that you want to compare to, all right. So I'm going to select name as my parent variable, all right. I want to compare name 2 with name, all right. So then you have to give name dot equals, all right, and then within the parenthesis, all right, within the parenthesis of equals, we have to pass the second variable, that is name 2, all right, and then simply print it out, as simple as that. All right, guys. Sorry, I had to change the IDE. All right, the code editor I was using, that is GDB compiler, it had some server issues. All right, so now I'm using JDoodle. All right, and let's try to run this program again, but in JDoodle. All right, and let's see what will be the output. So here you can see false. Why is it false? Because of course, DCBA is not equals to ABCD. Both are different. All right, now if we try to give ABCD again, all right, let's say what will be its output. See, it is giving true. Why is it giving true? It is giving us true because ABCD is equals to ABCD. Both are same, right? So yeah, of course. Now, all right, we are going to see two more methods, or you can say two more functions of strings, that is index of and element at. But before that, all right, we have to be aware of the concept of indexing, all right, where this concept comes in picture, what is this, what is that, all right. So yeah, see, indexing is basically tells the placement, all right, it basically tells the placement, or you can say where the particular character is present in the string, all right. Like it works sort of like a location in the particular string, all right. Now in programming, all right, in programming, indexing always starts from 0, all right. So remember the first character, all right, the very first character of the string, all right, the very first character of the string will always be 0, all right, will always be 0. Now if we take an example of ABC, all right, and we want, all right, we want the index of, let's say, B, all right, we want the index of B. So basically the index of B would be 1. How? I already told you that the starting point, all right, it is the indexing always starts from 0th position, all right, the indexing always starts from 0th position. So A would be 0, B would be 1, and C would be 2. So the B's address is 1, A's address is 0, and C's address is 2. That's what indexing is. It tells us the index, or you can say the location. Now there are two certain functions, all right, there are two certain functions available, all right, there are two certain functions available for getting the index and the element present at the index, all right. See what index of is does, all right, in the index of function we have to just pass, all right, we have to pass a particular means a particular character present in the string, all right, and it would return, or you could say it would give us the index, all right, the index position of the particular character, all right. Let's try it out, let's try it out. It would be as simple as that, nothing too much complicated in here, all right. So now if I had to remove this, wait, yeah. So what we have to do is we have to just write index, all right, index of, and then let's say I want the index, all right, I want the index of C. How would I do that? All right, before this, pause the video and try. Okay, it's giving us error. Oh, I understood why it is giving error. Actually, I use single quotes. I'm really sorry about that. Although the quiz is still on, so you have to guess. All right, you have to guess or not even guess, try to calculate, all right, try to interpret by yourself that what will be the output of this, all right, because we are trying to get the index, all right, we are trying to get the index of c, all right, index value of c from that string that is containing a b c d, all right. Now let's execute it, all right. So it is again giving me errors, I'm not sure why. Wait, a definition for index of no instruction type code string. All right, wait. Oh, sorry. Yeah, as I told, case sensitivity. I actually used small letter I. That's why I was like confused why it is giving error. It would the first letter will be in caps. All right. So the index. All right. So the index of C is 2. How? If we talk about A, the index of A is 0 because it is the starting point, so of course it would be 0. Then index of B is 1, all right, index of B is 1 and the index of C is 2, all right. Similarly after this there's another, all right, that is element of, all right, let's see, sorry, element at, I'm really sorry about that. So it got a rhyming. So yeah, so the this is the element at function. What it basically does is, see, we have to pass, all right, we have to pass some sort of index value, all right, we have to pass an index value in it, and after we pass the index value, let's say I pass from abcd I pass 2, all right, then it would return c because the at index 2 c is present, right. Let's try it out, all right, let's try it out, and you will also notice something, all right. Now I will tell you what element at, all right, and we have to put the index value, that is, let's say I want the value present at index 3, all right. Let's see it is giving some sort of error. What error? Why is it giving that error? See, the reason that is giving the error because basically in the system namespace there is no dot element at function available, right. Now to use this function we have to include another namespace, that is using system dot link, all right. And then if we run it, all right, and then if we run it, see, we got the element present at index 3, that is D, all right. Now if I want element present at, let's say, 1, can you guess what in the index 1 which element is present? Pause the video and think, all right, pause the video and think, and tell in the comments, all right. Let's try it out. Let's see. Wow, it is correct. At index 1 element b is present, that is at 0, all right, at index 0 a is present, at index 1 b is present, right. So it is as simple as that, all right. Now I already told you about link, all right. So we used system.link, all right. It is another namespace, all right. Link is basically a part of system namespace only, all right, and it contains the element at method, nothing too complicated, all right. So till now we have learned a lot, all right. We have learned a lot about data types, we have learned a lot about comments, we have learned a lot about variables, right. And the lecture has almost crossed 1 hour point, all right. So now this is our last, all right, this is our last topic of today, all right, last but not the least, because there are many other topics available, that is operators, loops, conditionals, and etc. So now this concept, all right, now I also have a homework for you that you guys have to do, all right. I won't show you how to do it, all right, I won't show you how to do it, but you have to do it by yourself, all right, because after this typecasting I'm pretty sure that you would be able to solve some, like, a problem, only one problem, means I would only give you one problem, and I think you will be able to solve it, all right. So see, sometimes, all right, sometimes it is really necessary for us, all right, to change the value, all right, before assigning. Means to change not the value, but the type of the value before assigning, all right. Let's say if we want to assign, all right, if we want to assign a floating point value to an integer, of course it will give us an error, right? Of course it will give us an error, because of course we can't store a floating point value, all right, we can't store a floating point value in, all right, we can't store a floating point value in our integer, right, in our integer, right? So we have to convert it, all right, we have to cast it, we have to convert that that typed value, right, that float typed value. So let's try it out, all right. So typecasting is basically changing the type of the value before assigning, as simple as that. All right, so let's take another thing, that is int val, all right, int val equals 23.2, all right. F, of course we have to add f suffix if we are going to add floating point float type value, all right. And let's try to print it out, all right. Let's see it works or not. So val, all right, let's see it works or not. Oh my god, it has given us some error, right? Constant value cannot be converted to a int, right? Because of course it can't be converted, because a compiler cannot convert it by itself. We have to give some sort of instruction to convert it, right? So how would we do that? As simple as that. We have to convert it to int, right? So before assigning the value, all right, like you have assigned this value, before that give a parenthesis, all right, and give the data type you want to convert the value to. So it currently this value is in float, all right, this value is in float. We want to convert it to int to store in the int variable, right? See, it has stored. Basically what is happening is it is removing that value from the point, all right, from the decimal it is removing that value, all right, and it is storing the exact value. All right, so this is what typecasting is. Now, all right, now another thing I would like to show you is we can also do this with the variable also. All right, let's create a variable. All right, that is float fl. I've given any name I could have imagined. All right, so let's give 23 point, or let's say 24.5 f. All right, so let's give that, all right. And what I will do is I will remove that value, and instead of that value I'm going to put the variable, all right. I'm going to put the variable, and let's remove this int also. First try without converting, and then let's see what will be the output, all right. I'm trying to assign a float value in the integer. See, it is giving, all right, cannot implicitly convert type float to int, all right. An explicit conversion exists. Are you missing a cast? See, the compiler is so kind that it is also telling us what what can help us fixing it. All right. So what thing can help us fixing it? Right. So let's do it. So open the brackets. All right. Open the brackets, and we are going to typecast it. That is int. All right, we are going to typecast it to int. All right, and let's say it works or not. Let's see. Wow, congratulations, it has worked. It has worked, right? We have successfully make the floating point worked, right? We have successfully typecasted. Now here's a task for you. All right, here's a task for you. You have to convert an integer to float. All right, you have to convert an integer to float. This is your task. All right, after watching the video, you can surely complete it. All right, it is as simple as that. It is not that complicated task, right? So for today, all right, for today's lecture, for module 3.2, we have successfully completed this lecture. All right, and in the next lecture we are going to learn about operators. All right, it is really important to learn about the operators. So next lecture is on operators. All Hey guys, welcome to this lecture. And in today's lecture, we are going to learn about operators in C Sharp. All right. This particular topic is very important for us because whenever we'll be coding any solution, or let's say we'll be solving any sort of problems, all right, or maybe coding our own mechanisms in augmented and virtual reality, we'll be needing operators on a highly basis because this is the very fundamental concept. All right, all the operations that we perform within a program happens only because of operators. All right. Because, for example, whenever we are assigning some value to a variable, right, whenever we are assigning some value to a variable, the assignment, that is the equal, all right, the equals to option, or the equals to sign, is called assignment operator. Yeah, that is also operator. Or let's say, for another example, uh, we let's say we are multiplying, all right, we are multiplying a particular speed, all right, to time dot delta time. All right, I'm just taking it as an example. We'll be covering time dot delta time in future videos when we will be learning to code in Unity, and we'll be developing our AR applications. All right, but for time being, just understand this. There's some function that is time dot delta time, and we are multiplying the speed variable, all right, the speed variable with the time dot delta time. All right, and the the as means the multiplication sign, all right, that we will be putting in there, that is also an operator. All right, so operators are everywhere in programming, so it is very important for us to understand the concepts of operators. All right, so basically, what are operators? See, an operator is basically used to perform some certain functions or calculations within the program. All right, for an example, assigning some values to a variable. All right, just like an equals to operator, or as I said, multiplication operator is there to multiply, right? So similarly, we use operators for multiple tasks. All right, and in today's lecture, we are going to see that. Now, there are multiple types of operators. All right, there are multiple types of operators. There are majorly five. That is, arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, assignment operators, and bitwise operators. In this lecture, all right, we are going to learn about four of these operators. All right, that is arithmetic, relational, logical, and assignment. All right, we won't be needing bitwise operators as of now, so that's why I am not teaching it. But if you want, I can bring a whole lecture video on bitwise operators. All right, because to understand bitwise operators, you need to understand binary operations. All right, how we perform binary calculations, because bitwise operators shift those binaries, right? So that's why I'm not including this bitwise operator concept in you know in this lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to learn about only four of these, and all right. So let's start with our very first operator, arithmetic. All right. So see, the use, all right, the use of this operator is only available in its name, arithmetic. Means we use these operators to perform some sort of calculation. All right, we use these operators to perform some sort of calculation. The calculation can be anything. It can be division, it can be multiplication, it can be addition, it can be subtraction. All right, and we are going to look into that. So here are all the operators listed in in a table. That is, this is the plus operator. It is used for addition of values. We can do it like this: a plus b equals 10. Similarly, there is subtraction. Then there is multiplication, right? Then there is division. All right, you might this might seem a bit unfamiliar. All right, means of course there is a percentage sign. All right, but in terms of programming, we don't call it a percentage. All right, in terms of programming, we don't call it a percentage. We call it a modulo operator. All right, we call it a modulo operator. All right, or modulus. What this operator does is, this operator gives you the remainder. All right, it gives you the remainder of any division, right? Like for an example, divide 7 by 2. All right, there will always be a remainder of 1. All right, so that's how it gives us the remainder of a particular calculation, right? And here in the last two, these are unary operators. What these basically does now, this plus plus sign increments value, all right, increments value with 1. Let me make you understand. This plus plus sign, all right, will be incrementing the value as 1, and this negative means negative negative, that is double negative, this will decrement the value, all right, this will decrement the value. That's it. Now, to understand it more, all right, understand it more wisely, more carefully, let's do one thing. Let's do a practical on it, right? So I'm going to open, just give me a second. All right, okay, here is the editor. So I'm just going to open it, all right. And what I first the very first thing, all right, what I wanted to do is declare two variables, all right. That is the first variable I would like to be, let's say 8, and the second variable, let's be it 4. All right. Now I'm going to perform the calculation. So you can see there are two ways to perform the calculation. You can create another variable, that's int c equals a plus b. All right. Another way around is you just directly print it. All right. Just directly print it. That is console.writeLine a plus b. All right. Both will do the same task, but the difference between them is, in here you are just printing, you aren't means in this particular line you are just printing, all right, you are just printing the additive value. But when you are assigning a variable and then doing addition in it, just like just like this, all right, what you are doing is you are storing the addition of a plus b, that is addition of a and b, in another variable c. All right, you can surely do that. Let's do it that way. All right, that would be better. So here you can see, all right, here you can see that we are performing the addition. Now let's see, it's is it even working? Let's start out. Yeah, it's perfectly working. What is the addition of 8 plus 4? It is 12, and we got it. Right. Now let's try out subtraction. So to do the subtraction, it's very simple. Remove the addition operator and put that minus operator. All right. Or you can say in your keyboard there would be a dash. Put that. All right. It is called minus operator, and you can see 8 minus 4 is 4. Right. Now let's do another thing. All right. Let's multiply it. All right. Let's see. See, 8 fours is 32. So multiplication is also working. Now let's try out division. Before doing the division operator, I want you to pause the video and do the calculation by yourself, without using any program. And let's see if you get it correctly or not. See, yeah, 4 twos are 8. So the outcome is 2, right? So that's how it works. All right. So till now we have seen 4 operators. Or which one is means which are those? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now let's see. All right. Let's see the remainder operator. All right. Can you guess what would be the remainder of, like, what would be the output of this particular calculation? Just give it a thought. All right. Do it manually. All right. And then again continue with the video. It's 0, because when we divide 8 with 4, all right, it's completely being divided. All right, the division is being completed, so remainder is 0. Now let's say if I give let's say for now I remove 8 and gave 9. Let's see, the output is 1, because there's a remainder remaining. All right, the division is not being completed. So that's how this remainder operation works. All right, it's fairly simple. So we saw about addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder. Now there remains 2 more operator. All right, and those are called unary operator. What that does is they increment or decrement the value. All right. See, there are 2 ways. All right, there are 2 ways of using increment and decrement variables. All right, means increment and decrement unary operators. All right. So understand it like this. So now the basic, see, to understand unary operator, all right, first of all we have to understand what it does. See, unary means these increment and decrement operators, now they increment the number or decrement the number. All right, means it will like if let me show you by example only. All right, let's remove this particular calculation from here. All right, let's let's perform this increment operator on let's say b. All right, let's give b plus plus. Let's see what happens. All right, let's just see what happens. So here you can see, all right, let me show you again. Here you can see the operation is not working. Means I promised you guys, right, that this particular plus plus operator will increment the value, right? Let me tell you one thing. It is incrementing. Now there's a whole round of concept behind it. All right. But before that, let me show you by incrementing the value actually. So give plus plus b. All right. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. But why didn't the first one work? See, let me wrap your head around it. All right. First of all, the plus plus sign. All right. Let me make a comment right in here. All right. See, first of all, understand. All right. This plus plus operator is always used for incrementing. All right. And this minus minus operator is always used for decrementing. All right, increment means increasing the number by 1. All right, means this operator will always increment a number by 1. And decrement means this operator will always decrement the number by 1. All right, that is subtract 1 from the previous value. Let me show you something like this. See, our value was 4, right? Our value was 4, and now as it has decremented by 1, it is 3, right? So that's how increment and decrement works. All right, now there's a underlying concept. All right, there's an underlying concept behind increment and decrement operator. All right, that is post increment, pre increment. All right, and post decrement and pre decrement. All right, now what are those? First of all, let's wrap our head around pre increment. All right, that is the pre and post increment. So first write it, pre increment. All right, so what this does? All right, pre means first. All right, means that it will perform the task first, then anything else. All right, understand this way. Pre increment is, that is, it will be performing. All right, it will be performing the operation first. Means in our case the operation is incrementing, so it will perform the incrementation first. All right, and how do we write it? Fairly simple. Plus plus, first of all we would be giving this symbol plus plus and then write the variable name. All right, so that's how pre increment work. All right, and post increment is after. All right, after performing the operation. All right, now I know this might get a bit confusing, and we write it like this. All right, that is b plus plus, post increment. Now see, let me clear this mess up. Pre increment, what it is doing? First it is, all right, first it is incrementing the value, then assigning. And post incrementing, post increment, what is it doing is, first it is assigning, then incrementing. All right, in case of this variable, that's why previously the b plus plus didn't work. That's the reason, because it has already it has already assigned the value of b to the variable c. After assigning it, then it is incrementing. All right, that's the difference between pre and post. That's the difference. All right, nothing else. Or else in both the cases value is being incremented. Just the difference is one is doing it first, then assigning it, and the another one, what the other one is doing, it is first assigning it, then incrementing it. That's the difference. All right. So that's how this thing works. All right, now let's try it again. Let's try pre-decrement. All right, that is plus plus b. All right, now just guess the output. All right, let's not get b, let's get a. All right, guess the output. What will be the output? It would be 9, right? Because why? Because first of all it is incrementing, then assigning the value. Incrementing by how much? It is incrementing by 1. All right, now let's again try out a plus plus. Let's see how that works. See, it is not showing that it has incremented, but our particular, all right, this particular value has been incremented, right? Now I know you might not be believing me. All right, you might think, what is the proof? All right, and your question is right, it's totally right. All right, so let me first, let's comment out this line. Let me show you if this particular function is even incrementing it or not. Let's see. All right, let's see. So give a, go to console.writeline and write a plus plus. Let's see. So here you can also see that it is not showing, all right, that it is incremented, right? I know it might be confusing. Now let me show you another way around. Here is the variable. I wrote this variable in here. All right, and again do a plus plus in here. All right, don't assign it to any variable, just do a plus plus, and let's see. Yeah, it worked. How? How? See, it is not assigning any variable. We aren't printing any variable. We are printing a variable, but we haven't assigned this increment. All right, we haven't assigned this increment to any other variable. All right, just like we did in the variable c, we didn't do that. All right, did we? We didn't. So it just incremented the value. It didn't assign itself. So it is not stored. Now it has incremented the value, that's why we are getting 9. So here you can see that this particular thing is working, right? It's totally working fine. So the major decrement, sorry, the major difference between pre-increment and post-increment is that one works first and the other one works last, something like that. All right, the means this, that is the pre one. All right, the pre increment will increment the value first, then assign it, and the post increment will first of all assign it, then increment. That's the difference. All right, so same. All right, same concept goes around the decrement. All right, that is pre decrement. That would be minus minus b, and post decrement would be b minus minus, right? So let's try this one too, right? First of all, let's try minus minus b. All right, so our current value for b is c, and let's print the c, right? See, we are getting 3 because first it is being decremented, then assigned. Now let's again try. All right, let's again try b minus minus in here, and let's see if that works or not. No, it's not working because the value is already assigned and we are printing that assigned value. Now to check whether in real, all right, in real if it is being decremented or not. Okay, I guess I ran it by mistake. So let's go and give b minus minus. All right, and let's remove this c and let's put b in here. Let's see if works. Yeah, it worked. It did work. So you can see that this post decrement also works. So that is what pre and post decrement is. All right, very simple. All right, nothing too complicated. So I'm going to erase this program. All right, I'm going to erase this program and go towards our next set of operators. All right, so we are clear with this concept of operators. All right, addition operator is for addition, subtraction operator is for subtraction, this asterisk is for multiplication, this slash is for division, this modular, you can say percentage operator is for remainder. All right, this plus plus operator is for incrementing, and this minus minus operator is for decrementing. All right. So I hope you understand how arithmetic operator works. Right now, here comes our relational operator. All right. See, again, the meaning of this operator is already told in is already listed in its name. Relation, it tries to tell us that if there is any relation between the two values, right? Now in this operator there are, how many types are there? Six, total six types is there. That is equals, equals, not equals, greater than, less than, greater than equals, less than equals. If you are, I know most everyone if you means every one of you have experience with maths, right? I know every single person of you, and you already know what greater than equals does, less than equals does, right? So let me make this thing clear to you. All right. See, if, all right, if the condition is correct, then it will return true. If the condition is correct, then it will return true. If the condition is false, then sorry, if the condition is not correct, all right, or the condition is wrong, all right, or let's say the condition is not matching, then it will return false. All right. And these operators, all right, these operators are very widely used. All right, these operators are very widely used in if else operations. All right, if else for loop operations. So we'll be learning those two. So don't worry. All right, the main focus currently for us is to understand, all right, is to understand how these operators works. So for that, let me open my let me open this particular, you know this editor, and let's see our relational operator. So let's give it a comment. All right, relational operators. See, there are total six operators. You know who are those, and let me show you what do they do. All right, let me show you. So take two variables, that is int a, let's say it 12, and let's take another variable, that is int b, and let's assign it 10, right? Now, all right, now do one thing, right? Console dot write line, all right, and the very first operator is equals equals operators. Now let's see what it will return. Let's see, it's returning false. Why? See, understand the concept behind equals equals. This is this operator, all right, this operator compares two values, all right, and if both the values are same, all right, if both the values are same, then it will return true, and if both the values are not same, then it will return false. All right. So these equal to operator is used for comparison. Now, as I've changed the value of v to 12 and also the value of a is 12, now let's see what it returns. See, it is returning true because the condition is true. The condition means a and b means a and b are equal. All right. A is also 12, b is also 12. So that's what equals equals operators does. Now the second one for us was not equals. All right, it's the total opposite. It will check if the value is equals to or not equals to. Now let me show you. All right, a not equals to b. Now can you guess what will be the output? All right, pause the video and think for a few seconds, and try to answer it by yourself. What will be the output? So let's see. It is returning as false. Why? Because it is the conditional is only telling us not equals to. We don't want it to be equal. All right. It means if both the values are not equal to each other, then only I will return true. And if they are equal, I will not. I will return false. Now let's try to change the value to change the value of b to 10. Now let's see. It is returning true. Now we understood about equals equals operator. We understood we understood about not equals operator. What's next? Next is greater than. All right, next is greater than and less than operator. Now let me show you. All right. Let's see A. All right. A greater than B. Of course, you all know it will, return false because, sorry, it will return true because, of course, A is greater than B. A is 12, 10. B is 10. Now let's see. Yeah, it is returning true. Now, let's give it 13. All right. Let's change the value of B to 13. Let's see. It is returning false, right? It is returning false. Because of course, bro, A is not bigger than 30, means 12 is of course not bigger than 13, right? That's why it is returning false. So now let's back it up to 10 and let's try it again. Yeah, it is returning true because 10 is less than 12 and 12 is greater than, all right, 12 is greater than 10. So same again, let's try out A less than B. All right. Of course, the condition has to be true. All right, means this condition is telling us the truth. A is not less than B. A is not less than B. That is false. That's why the output is false. How can 12 be less than 10? It cannot be, right? So that's why it's returning false. Now let's say if I change the value of A to, let's say, 5. Sorry, yeah, let's change it to 5 and let's see the output. Now it's returning true because it is returning true because the value of A is of course less than B because the value of A is 5, the value of B is 10 and 5 is less than 10. So that's how this, this thing works. Now let's say, all right, let's give both the values, equality, that is, let's make A to 10, B to 10, right? Now let's see. It's returning as false. It is returning as false because there isn't any option, right? Because uh, see, that's means for these type of, no for these type of values now, uh, less than equals and greater than equals comes in. All right, so we are going to see those operators now. So till now what we did, till now we learnt about arithmetic operators. All right, now we are going through relational operators, and in relational operators we learned about equals, equals, not equals, greater than and less than. Now here comes two more operators. All right, here comes two more operators: less than equals, greater than equals. All right, now let's see. First of all, let's again reset its value. Let's A be 12 and B be 10. Right, now in here it's very simple. You just have to give A greater than equals B. Now let's try and run it. Here you can see, it is returning as true. There's no difference, right? You might be thinking, oh god, what am I showing? It's just like the, the previous one, just like the previous greater than equal sign, sorry, greater than sign. No, there's a difference. You just have to wait. So here you can see it's returning true. Yes, of course it will return true because 12 is greater than 10. Now let's make it to 10. All right, let's make it up to 10. Let's see. Oh my god, it's again returning false. Why? That's because here's an equals to sign. The condition is telling, all right, if the number is greater than equals to some other number, then only return true. And if the condition, means if that condition is not matching, then return false. Now let's try giving 9. Now let's see. Say it is giving us false, right? Now let's try less than equals. It's returning as true because 9 is less than 10. Now again let's give 10 to A. Let's see. Again it is returning as true because 10 is equals to 10, right? Now let's give 12 to A. Let's see. It is returning false. All right, because then the condition is not matching now. Condition is not matching. It is 12 is nor less than nor equals to, what, nor less than nor equals to 10. So that's how this whole relational operators works. I hope the concept behind relational operators is clear. All right, now as we are very clear around relational operators, let's understand the concept of logical operators. All right, see, logical operators, they are very simple to understand. All right, very simple. Some people like exaggerate it. I've seen like some people exaggerated exaggerated it, but currently in the beginning stage, and operator and these or operators are very simple to understand. Now, logical operators, what are they? All right, these type of operators now, all right, is used to um what can I say, I'm not getting the right word. These two operators put some condition between like another two condition. All right, I know it might get a bit confusing. I will show you how to how this works, right? But for now, understand. All right, it performs logical calculations. All right, understand it like this. It performs logical calculation. Now, here you can see two ands. All right, that is two ampersand signs. All right, what this means, we call it as an and operator. What this means is, in this example here you can see there are two conditions, that is a equals to, and another condition is b equals 4. All right, if both the conditions are returning true, all right, if both that is a equals 2 is true and b equals 4 is true, then only it will return true. Let's say any of the condition in here, let's for example, let's say b equals 4 is false but a equals 2 is true. All right, for example, then it will return false. That's how the and operators works. All right, so as we have understood the and operator, let's try to code it. Right, let's see how this thing works. So first of all, I wanted to remove this whole code. All right, now again write in here logical operator. All right, cool. Now here assign two values, that is int a equals 10 and b sorry, int b equals again let's say 12. All right, and now go to console dot write line, and in here what you have to do is, first of all, first write one condition, that is a equals 10. All right, we are comparing the value of a to another value 10. All right, now here comes the and operator. Now let's again do the same thing for b, that is b equals 12. Now let's try and run it. It is returning us true because both in here, both the conditions are true. Now let's change one value, that is, let's change the value of b to 11. Let's see. So it is returning false. So here the concept of and operator is very clear, that to means to get the and operator return true, we have to make sure that both the conditions, all right, both the conditions which are using the and operator should be true. All right, so that's what the purpose of and operator is. Now another operator is or operator. All right, it's like if this doesn't work, then we will work with these. All right, so basically what it means is, let's say there are two values, a equals 2, b equals 2. All right, that is in our case. All right, in here b equals 4, right? That means in here b, all right, for b it is false. The condition b is false because of course b is not equals to 4. All right, means b is 4, of course. Sorry, I'm I just uh, confused you, I think so. Let's understand it this way. See, b right in here is 4, and we are comparing b with another value 2, right? And of course 2 is not equal to 4. All right, it is not. So for this particular condition it will be false. Now for this, all right, that is a equals 2. In here the value of a is 2 and 2 equals 2, that is this, but for this condition it will return true. So as one condition is true, it is going to return us true. All right, so let me show you. So here you can see I already have it assigned, that is a equals 10, that is 10 equals 10, it will be true, and b equals 11. But in our case, b is 12, and we are comparing it with 11. Let's see, it is returning us true. All right, now let's do this the other way around. Let's change it to 10, and you know let's change the b to 12. Again, it is returning us true, because one of the condition is continuously matching. Now let's say change both the means, let's make both the condition and false, and let's see. Here you can see it is giving us false.